This episode of the Coarse podcast has been brought to you by Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, family-owned and operated screen printing and embroidery business located in a historic storefront on Old Berwick Road in the heart of Espy. They've been doing screen printing for over 20 years. They have high-quality product at a low price. Be sure to check them out. Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, 570-784-1212. Now, on to the show.
Hey, this is Chef Dave Martin. You're listening to Sean Rossler on the Coarse Grind podcast. Let's eat.
What's up, everybody? It's Sean from the podcast. Here we are, Coarse Grind Podcast 101 live on the first ever Bourdain Day. I'm going to be handling multiple media devices here. And join in. Reach out, comment, message, call, whatever you want to do. And we'll see if we can't get this some legs here. I got someone, ready. There we go. So, Bourdain Day. Interesting day. Wonderful memorial, wonderful, awesome, beautiful day. I don't know if anyone caught the pictures that were on, like Insta, and we got a call in. Hang on. What's up, man? How are you doing? Jonathan Rossler. It is none other than Smooth Matty James of Coarse Grind Podcast 100 fame. How's it going? Hi, Melissa. How are ya? So anyway, what's going on, dude? What have you been up to since our last encounter?
Are you asking me to plug my own individual product, Sean?
That's kind of what I do sometimes. I like to help you help you.
Shameless self-promotion?
Yes, shameless. Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. We have been on our grind. You see what I did there?
I do. I see what you did there.
With the ADHD Bags podcast, which Sean here was very gracious enough to be our third episode, our first guest.
First guest, third episode. Yeah, that sounds right.
May he live in infamy.
Forever.
And, and we just dropped our 7th episode. We're getting a little bit more topical, like an ointment. And just like a good ointment, we're trying to spread it. We're trying to spread the word.
Okay, spread. I'm glad you specified with word there. It was going a little south.
I mean, hey, $20 is $20, Sean, in this economy. Make sure you check out the ADHD Red 2 page.
Where's the stop button? There it is.
If only
it were that easy.
You can't quit me, Sean.
I can't. I wish I could quit you.
I mean, 100, 101, back to back,
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Which is usually how we like to spend our time back to back. No eye contact. It puts me off my game.
No eye contact at all. Absolutely. No, it's kind of cool that, vaulting into the hundreds, yours has been a steady presence, and I like what I'm seeing coming out of your camp. I like that I'm seeing new episodes come out. So if you haven't had a chance, those of you playing along at home, ADHD Bags podcast, just really interesting, funny, witty, without being too gushy about it. It's been a really cool thing. And, again, this guy, Matty James, joined us on stage for 100 and took his time, took his effort, and handled things. And just a rock star. So, buddy, I really appreciate it.
As best as I could.
Yeah, you did well, man. You did well. People are still coming up to me and talking about it. So, again, man, can't appreciate it enough. I think you and I have to do another project soon. Sound like a plan?
Definitely very soon. Sean, I'm very proud of everything that you've been doing. I'm proud of, once again, being able to sit down and talk to you, even if it was briefly. But, Sean, keep me posted. Keep everybody posted on what you do, because what you're doing is really good work.
Trying, buddy. Trying. Hey, I appreciate it, brother. Have a safe trip home.
Hey, absolutely, man. Love
All right.
you.
Later, dude. All right. There he was. Smooth Matty James Livingston checking in with the show. For those of you who had the chance to come out to 100, Matty James was the incredibly nimble talent we had at the beginning, handling the warming up of the crowd, and then when technical issues ensued, we navigated accordingly, and he was just an absolute diehard professional in jumping in there until we could get things straightened out. We got them straightened out, and there they were. I mean, it's that simple. Just a great guy. And again, ADHD Bags podcast. I don't know if he's still in the feed there. Maybe Maddie, if you want, man, plug your site, plug your page, and get that up there. So thanks for checking in. So again, here we are, Bourdain Day live show. A little bit of, speaking of being nimble, I had a guest scheduled tonight, and I'm learning more and more 5 years into this now. You've got to be nimble if nothing else. And he was at his new restaurant. Maybe that clues somebody in who it might be. Since about 4:30 this morning, and you just can't. And so to transition a little bit into the nature of today, Bourdain Day, and the nature of the industry that he was in, that many of you are in or are interested in, and that most of the guests on here are in. It's a tough life, and I think there's a lot of romanticizing, present company included. I do it constantly about the nature of, wouldn't it be great to open a restaurant? And it's absolutely 100% true. It would be awesome. But along with that comes a lot of stuff. And I think, if we're to take a moment and address the elephant in the room, the nature of the day, what happened, roughly a year ago, mental health in the professional kitchen, a lot of folks, I feel, are now able to open up about that and have an honest dialogue about it. And, again, to make, sunshine out of a rainstorm, lemonade out of lemons, whatever you want to say. I think Bourdain's passing really kind of brought that into the central focus. So, all right, without turning this into half a goddamn funeral, again, folks, if you're looking to call in, look at the chat, hit me up on Messenger, write a comment here. I'm watching it as we speak. Or feel free to use that cute little Messenger call feature that's available on Facebook Messenger. As you just heard, it works just like a telephone. I'm still getting up on this technology. Let me look through who's joined. Hi, Tiff, Rachel, Greg, Cord. I can't call you Josh. I can't get over that. Rochi, how we doing, buddy? Amy, what's up? Long time no see. So what's been going on with the show since 100? Logical bit of vamping here to be had. I think, if I remember correctly, we did actually break the news that we are working on our first book. It's going to be a coffee table style book. It's going to basically be interviews, transcribed, scripted a little bit more readably, along with recipes, where are they now for the guests, and some liner notes from yours truly. And our first focus is going to be, our first focus is going to be right here in and around the Bloomsburg area. I think it's a logical place to start. And when I asked the folks who, I'll let them remain nameless for now, but trust me, they're all local people who, if you've eaten in this food scene and you want to know what maybe their recipes are or what maybe their brewing recipes are, that would be a great way to find out. So it's in the works. Trust me, it's not around the corner. It's not anytime soon. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. But we're currently working on that. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. 100 was a big build-up. I think 100 was great. I know I didn't make a big to-do about it, just like I didn't with 50, but cut the check, took it down to the food cupboard, and that's just it's a humbling experience to take that down, after what I view, as a hobby. Those of you who know me outside of the show know that, I'm working, job upon job, work upon work, and yet, I have this as a wonderful kind of kickback, a wonderful kind of like laid back pastime that's truly turned not just passion project, but almost like mission project. And one of the big things is hunger in the community. And if you don't believe your community has hunger, you're sadly mistaken. And I can assure you, not only does it, but it's probably way worse than you think. we actually just had a talk with our 9-year-old, not last night, about, hunger and how 1 in 6 kids goes to bed hungry. And he assured us, oh, well, none of my friends. And it's one of those things that we don't talk about it enough. We don't provide it the airtime it deserves. So, if I can do anything else, here in the meantime, that's another great cause, not just childhood hunger, though, like human hunger. There's no reason. I think it defies logic. I think it defies logic that my camera's been off center the whole time. And that's been bugging me. That's much better. It defies logic that we're such a developed society, or were, until about 2 or 3 years ago. It really defies logic that a simple basic human element like food would go missing from the equation. And I just think that's shitty, for lack of a better term, shitty. So that's what I will likely devote every possible event that I do with the show to. And I know I've got some coming up late summer, some live events. I'll be out live. Come out, see me. Come out, check out the new shirts. They're awesome. The new Ramones logo, courtesy of the fabulously talented rat who's jumping the Bloomsburg ship, who I can't respect anymore, Lee Millard. No, I'm just kidding. I love you. Thank you so much for the wonderful artwork, as always. And if you saw the train spotting poster in and around the area, that was Lee as well. And it's spectacular. I couldn't ask for anything more. I couldn't even ask for that. I didn't even realize it could happen. So again, thank you, Lee. But again, all that effort goes forward to a cause, and that cause is hunger. And so, I encourage you, if wherever you're from, and I know like not a lot of you are from around here, look around, get involved. The opportunities are innumerable. And if you've got some extra money burning a hole in your pocket and you're like, I want to give it to a charity, go down to your local school, go down to your local elementary school, middle school, high school, and pay off 20 kids' lunch balance. Simple. Let's see. Cord, Josh Weinberg. I got a question for you about Bourdain and you. I'd always see how Anthony Bourdain actually loved the shit out of Popeye's chicken. Me too. I've not had Popeye's chicken, but I've had a lot of what would be considered, less than upper crust food that I absolutely adore. So go on. As a gourmand of haute cuisine, I can't even fucking read. Take two. This is why I don't usually do this whole thing, because I'm like, I'm all eyes when I do this kind of shit. Anyway, as a gourmand of haute cuisine, would you say that you have your own fast food guilty pleasures? And if so, which ones get your approval? I'll say this about that. I don't ever give people my approval. Although I will say, Mikey Nguyen, if you join in at any point, you posted that shit with the Keebler cookies. I don't even... Fudge stripes, using those to make a s'more. You have no soul. You have no soul. Hear me now. You have no soul. Use a graham cracker, use a Hershey bar, use a goddamn marshmallow, and knock it off. Knock that shit off. All right, back to the guilty pleasures, though. Guilty pleasure food. All right, and I'm assuming you're still there because I still see the green dot. I don't know. Am I limited to one? Do you want to hear like my top 3? Because I can go. Have you seen my gut? Trust me, I can go this route. I can go hard here, because we could talk about guilty pleasure beer as well, and that would be probably just as damaging. So, just let me know if you want more than one. So let me start with probably what would be my go-to. If I'm absolutely looking to train wreck myself via fast food, there is no other like dive bar. If you could make a dive bar fast food, Taco Bell for me is the absolute mecca of doing that. And I'm not just talking some small scale shit here. I'm talking at least 10, 20 bucks worth for me. And the thing is, if you knew me and you went to Taco Bell with me in college, there's like a handful of you who maybe did. I have this very odd behavior when it comes to, I should probably check my phone for other comments. I'm sorry. I'm neglecting you folks. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. You humoring me. So the 10 to 20 bucks of Taco Bell is like bad enough, right? I should probably just stop there and say that's good. But in the spirit of full disclosure, and I probably shouldn't admit this, but I will. I had this habit of literally for each bite of chalupa, burrito, soft taco, didn't matter. One bite equaled one packet of sauce. Now, this was back when they didn't clamp down like the Gestapo of condiment and, clamp it all down and say, no, you can only have so many. No, this is when they had them out in the main thoroughfare along with napkins. Like they had napkins, forks, knives, and hot sauces. And when we were doing drive-through, I would always make it a point to stop when I came around and just go in and grab handfuls. Every bite equaled a packet of sauce. So I would, the soft taco from Taco Bell. Everyone knows that. I mean, about as cheap as you come. Cheap looking, terrible. But if it was 3 bites for me, it was 3 packets of sauce. And it's not even that it's a guilty pleasure. See, I feel like, I don't know that it's a guilty pleasure so much as it is like a guilty comfort food. It's not a pleasure. And trust me, later it's not a pleasure, but God damn, I cannot. I wish, like I said to Maddie before, I wish I knew how to quit you. Taco Bell is it for me. Oh God, I could absolutely all day long. Another fast food guilty pleasure that I will tuck into forever and a day, thanks to my parents, starting when I was like 4, I think I might have had my first one, is the Burger King chicken sandwich. It is the epitome of just, I don't want to say trashy goodness, because it's not trashy. It's all right. But it really is just the smear of mayo, the shred of lettuce they have on it, and the chicken that it doesn't really hold the form of chicken at that point. It's more of just a juicy, infused, genetically modified plank of protein. But it's so good. It's so good. I could kill 3-4 of them now. Like I couldn't when I was 4. That would be a little much. But yeah, Burger King chicken sandwich. Well, since we can't have 2, let's do 3. Probably Pizza Hut pizza. Although, no. Let me take that back. I would actually probably go with, now we're just going to talk about a food, not necessarily a place here. A ghetto triumvirate. I'm going to give you all 3. So, like, you're getting 5 for 1. Sweet Lebanon bologna. And if you want to really kind of jack that up, get a brick of cream cheese and just smear it on a piece and roll it up like freaking sushi. Sweet, not savory, sweet. Do that. You'll never be the same. You'll probably die within a week, but you'll have a good last week. Pork rinds. I am a guilty imbiber of the pork rind. What's more, not just pork rind though. I've started making my own chicken chicharrones when we do like chicken thighs and we don't get them skinless. The bone's still in. I take that skin and people would normally throw it out. You can take that, and if you cut it, most thighs into about 4, you cut it like this. See, I can actually show you things on this video now. It's awesome. And you lay them on a cookie sheet, parchment paper under it, salt, pepper. Real light on the salt though, because as it starts to cook, it really condenses the salinity. Put them in a 400-degree oven, probably about 15 minutes. And they turn into the chicken version of pork rinds, and they're phenomenal. You can season them any way you want to, but that's good. But yeah, pork rinds, gas station pork rinds. I challenge you to find a better pairing than that, and like a Miller Lite or something just light. There's nothing more guilty. Like you'll never see me do it because I usually hide down here and hiding away from the masses. Same thing with the third part to that, which is like any kind of a meat stick. And I know like we've gotten a little more organic. We've gotten a little more, that's a grass-fed, free-range Slim Jim. I stockpile these things. And again, it's a when no one's looking kind of thing. Tear through them, because I think it was actually Bourdain, oddly enough, who said any kind of meat in a tube is fine by me. Well, I couldn't agree any further with him than that. Any meat in tube form is okay by me, and especially when it comes smoked and spiced and unhealthy as hell, providing you 75% of your daily saturated fat in one stick. That's fine. So there you go. That's a phenomenal question. If you all have guilty pleasures culinarily, feel free to pop them up there. Let me know. Let me hear. Because they're typically so. For folks listening, this is a video stream issue here. So we're gonna see if we can't get back on with what's going on here. 2 seconds. Oh, I'm finally catching up with all the comments. Well, here we go. We're gonna actually go right ahead and refresh this and see if we can't join back live. There we go. Now we're going to be back up here. Oh. All right, here we are. We're back. Sorry about that. Sometimes things happen with this wonderful technology. I was just reading through some comments there, and I want to scrub back through because I'm pretty sure I saw some stuff about Harry's and about the baked potato soup. There we go. Okay. Give people a little bit of chance to come on back. I'm going to comment over on the original video. This is confusing. This is technology. I don't know what to do. It's too much. 10, 20 bucks worth for me. Oh, there you go. All right. And Melissa's back. Just messaging those folks who are over there. All right, so here we go. Now I can actually go through here and we can... yeah, Melissa, Harry's is no... Well, Harry's is not no longer. Justin Hummel, the guy that owned Harry's, it became Harry's 2, and now it is the Study Bar, and that's actually where we did the 100th episode live from. It's a really, really awesome venue. If you get the chance, you absolutely need to go. Spectacular space. They're doing a lot with it. It's just really impressive. Here we go. Crowd's coming back over here now. Love it. What up, Putman? Ha! How's it going, buddy? Food on a budget with meal plan. Best restaurant in Bloomsburg ever, Magnolia. It only lasted a few months, but amazing Creole food. Cord, where was Magnolia at? Yeah, the study absolutely does have decent bar food. Nicole, who's in the back, is absolute stone cold killer. And it was an honor to plug her food. Cord, where was that Magnolia? I feel like I remember, and I feel like we were gonna go, then we didn't. So long as it's not Jack's Steakhouse. Sorry if I hurt anyone's feelings, but not good. So where Seasons was at one point, I think. Oh, okay. Yep. I know exactly where you mean. But then didn't some, like, chili dog joint, some Coney Island joint go in there? See above. I gotta see above. Henry's in Ackworth. Looking up. I will. All right, folks, just a reminder, if you have questions, if you have comments, anything like that, be sure to comment it over there. Or if you want to call in live to the show, do so via Messenger. Feel free. That was a while later. Food cost overruns. Yeah, and I'd say, Cord, probably 90% of the time, food cost overruns are really what start to cut the legs out from under a place. He takes a pensive drink while waiting for a response. God, this is a lot of looking at my face. It's terrible. It really is. What are you going to do though? So, the 100 weekend, for those of you that came out again, to take a moment and to thank you. I think, as I say all the time, it really is kind of like letting a boy have his dreams come true. And it really did, to share the stage with local food, icons in our community. And, you don't realize it until you hear them actually speak about what it is, they love. And, my goal for the evening was to have people put a face with the food, put a face with the place. Oh, I like going to Blind Pig. Why? Oh, I like the food. How about you learn a little bit and you'll love it even more? I promise you. And Justin and Dylan Naylor couldn't make it. They're out at Old Tioga Farm. Absolutely incredible place. Sarah Toby, Steve Curian, Donnie Abrazinskas, Justin, and Mike Jones from Route 11. And I swear I'm going to make it down sometime soon, buddy. I promise. But, again, you're all absolute rock stars, and you all really kind of helped me, have a little dream of mine come true. That was one last year. It was amazing. Live bands on Friday night playing upright bass rockabilly. Oh, wow. Damn, I should have gone when it was there, huh, Cord? So, I mean, the guests made 100. The Brian Balthazar, Thank you so much for taking the time to come down, to take time out of your schedule, doing HGTV and all this crazy, like, NBC, all this stuff. And I'm like, and you're coming to Bloomsburg for a show? And he did. And, those of you who were there, you saw just an incredible presence about him, and it was great. And, obviously, Beth Oretsky, Grill Bitch from Confidential. That was, I had, for those of you maybe unfamiliar with the story, I had her on the show twice, and then she had the lapse in judgment, I think, to ask me to come over to the Hudson Valley and cook an event. She said co-chef, and I'm like, or guest chef, sorry, and I'm like, oh. And but I did it, and it was great. And I got to meet Chef Michael, which again was, just to stand in that presence. I think, as I was saying earlier, explaining to a 9-year-old how people in the restaurant industry pull 16-hour days, 6 days a week, and that's not exactly uncommon. I think that kind of brought an awareness to him. And for me, I think there is a pleasure in going into that fire and proving I might come out bent, but not broken. And we certainly did that day. We did a lot of good stuff. And then to, be pacing around nervously, getting ready for 100, and knock at the door, and I just hear her voice, and I'm like, holy shit, Grill Bitch is at my house. It was surreal. It was very surreal to go down, do the show. And then the next day, what was really cool was that they were supposed to head out. They were supposed to head back. A dog, and got to take care of a dog. And but Sydney, Beth's daughter, came and got me. I don't know, about like 9:30, and with her deadpan delivery goes, "We're gonna go play cornhole now. I have a raging hangover. The last thing in the world I want to do is play cornhole, and yet." 5 minutes later, I was out playing cornhole and working out the kinks from the night before, and they had such a good time. They decided to stay and stayed for another night. And probably the coolest, most surreal moment was watching back in the days when you had to order DVDs from networks. They weren't even readily available. I had ordered an episode of No Reservations from the Travel Channel, and it was China. And I remembered that I had it upstairs, and about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, we're all getting ready to wind down, and I said, and it's actually down here, over here's I gotta remember which side of the screen. So there's the projector, Jesus, I can't get this right. And I said to Beth, I said, do you want to watch something? She said, sure. And I popped it in, and I think I posted a short little clip of a video of it, but I watched a little bit of it with her. That's, my last memory of the night, and I just, my body was beaten up, and but I was sitting on a couch watching No Reservations with Beth. And so next day ensued, got up, and Chef Pardis, phenomenal guy, comes up to me as they're getting ready to go, and he goes, man, you guys know how to throw down. I don't know that I've ever had such a high compliment hit me like that. So that's the story of the weekend. And I think it's a solid memory, certainly a solid memory to share on a day like today. And, I think, obviously you see all this stuff all over the media today about him, about his life, and about all that. And there's all the naysayers that jump on and will come out with the typical absolute lack of self-awareness comments like, oh, he's selfish. Oh, he's, he had a family. How could he? Those of you that know me know that, mental health awareness is an incredibly high topic on my list. And, that's just not the case. That's not what it's about. And my dear friend Jane just the other day actually made a very poignant post about folks who are depressed, who are, truly depressed and broken. this is not just something you can slap them on the shoulder and say, get over it. This is not just something you say they need to reach out. It's not about that at all. What it's about is you getting involved and you reaching out. And sometimes it's got to be you grab them by the back of their ass and pull them out of that chair and take them somewhere. You're going to have to force the issue sometime. And I don't know if people tried to do that for Tony. I don't know if, anybody did, and because what I perceived him to be was obviously, a guy that could put up a good front. I know how to do that. And I know that I've done that. So it certainly leaves a gaping hole on a day like today, on a day that he would have been 63, I think it was. And that's weird to think about too, that he would have been 63. He just never came across as that. And, just such a strong presence. So without getting overly dramatic, and in the interest of time, I think I've probably put most of you to sleep, if not all of you. It seems like things are slowing down, so that might be the case. I'll simply say this. I'll simply say, Tony, happy birthday, wherever you may be. I hope you brought enough ice if you're where I think you are. But if you're up top, you won't have to worry about that. Today, I toast you, I drink to you, because without you, I wouldn't have this show. I wouldn't have an incredible awareness of quality in dining, in food. But what's even more, I wouldn't have the awareness of the social impact food can, will, and does have on a regular basis. Everything from your Sunday meatloaf dinner with your family to dining out at the finest restaurants with all the stars in the world you could count. You can say there's a difference between the two, but really, when you break it down, it's nothing more than fulfilling a basic human need. How we do it, that's what really elevates it. It's not even what we do it with, it's how we do it. And I hope for those of you out there that you are surrounded by people you enjoy breaking bread with, you enjoy having good long pours with. And again, I thank Tony for all of this, because without that guidance, without that knowledge, without that awareness, and it's what I try to portray as part of this show in interviewing folks who typically don't get the credit they deserve. I want to make everyone aware who has ever had a question mark as to what food could be, not just something we put in our body. It can be so much more. I'm hoping, if nothing else, if you listen, I'm hoping that's what you take from it. So, Tony, happy birthday. With that said, this has been episode number 101 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. With you, as always, your host, the creator of the Coarse Grind Podcast, Sean Rossler. I'd like to thank, as always, my lovely, voluptuous producer, Johnny Leland Robinson, who will be hooking back up here again soon. I know we took a little time down. We'll be plugging back in together. But producer, Johnny L. Robinson, thank you so much, buddy. And we'll be looking to some new episodes soon. 102 will be recording tomorrow night, and 103 will likely be recorded this Sunday. So we're banging out 3 in a week. That's a pretty good schedule. So without further ado, have a good night, folks. Thanks for watching. Take care. Hey, do you like coffee? Do you like gourmet coffee? Do you like really amazing gourmet coffee that's a total steal and just happens to be based on a culinary podcast? Well, look no further. The Coarse Grind Podcast has teamed up with the Mr. G Coffee Company to create the perfect custom blend. Dark as the logo itself, with hints of caramel, sea salt, and dark chocolate, it is luxury in a cup at an incredible price. Be sure to check out their site today, MrGCoffee.com, and order some now.